That's where I'm gonna edit it. I'm gonna. Yeah, I did twist the knob. Part 2. Where were we? What were you going to get?
I thought I had a plot of the Dawson property, but I took it to the office, I guess.
That's so funny to me. What if that was like what caused the nuclear fallout? Like the bad taxes. Somebody let it lapse. And then Rob has decided the baby name, formerly Dub. What if it's Hub Hub?
We can call it when it's
No.
being bad.
Yeah, Hub. Hub is the alter ego.
Hub and Dub.
That's so funny.
Well, you remember the movie Secondhand Lions? You need to see that.
Oh, you need to see that.
But the main character was Hub.
Did it remind you of?
It's just Robert Duvall was.
Okay.
He was Hub.
Y'all haven't seen, you don't remember? Y'all need to watch that. It is great. It's great.
That's Grace Sapples.
And Grease. Yeah, I remember going to see them, and I don't remember. I guess they were in Gadsden.
Who?
Aunt Grace that's maybe a different Aunt Grace. Grandma Mo's sisters.
Yeah, no, they were in the nursing home at Fort Payne.
Oh,
But-
in my mind it was always Gadsden.
She lived at home at Rosalie until she had to go to the nursing home.
Okay.
When Aunt Grace got where she couldn't take care of herself and she was staying at home and we were hiring people to take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Aunt Max was in Florida and she got where she didn't need to be by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And these Aunt Grace's caregivers evidently got to talking and they said we could take another one and we'll make more money.
Mm.
So they volunteered to bring Aunt Max and they'd take care of both of them. So Mama asked me to go to Florida and get Aunt Max and bring her to Aunt Grace's.
Which is no small task, I'm sure.
No, but I drove down there and picked her up and drove back because I wasn't interested in spending the night.
Mm-hmm.
But we got back over there like 6 o'clock in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I got her out and got her unloaded and I came home. I think it was like 8 o'clock the next morning. Mama called and asked me if I'd take Aunt Max back to Florida.
Oh my gosh. It went was it between them fighting?
No, the caregiver said if she stays, we're going.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I went over there the next, that morning.
Oh my gosh.
When I got there, Aunt Max was just raving, mad, and cussing. And she said, if I had a way home, I'd just go back home. And I said, I'll take you.
Here I am.
She said, would you do that? And I said, I'd be glad to.
Wow. So what part of Florida was she at?
Fort Walton.
Which is
the Gulf.
Panhandle.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like 10,
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't way
But
down.
still, like
Yeah, it was-
that's I've done that. Well, not in a day. I haven't done that. But man,
Well, this was one day going, the same day coming back, and the
Right.
next morning
Back.
going and back.
oh, that's terrible. But hey, whatever we got to do. But I remember going to see them. Do you remember going to see them? I remember we had to see them in a certain order because if we saw one first, they'd follow us to the
Yeah.
next one.
Aunt Grace would follow you to Aunt Max's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But Aunt Max wouldn't.
No.
So we'd see her first and then we'd go. And I remember, I guess that was when I learned about Alzheimer's because, we'd be there and before we'd go in, Mom was good about saying, okay, now they have a hard time remembering things because they're older and she told me what it was and I was like, okay. And then, the first time I think it was like, this is insane because it was like, now who are you again? And and you'd have a conversation in between, but then it would start over.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old
Yeah.
they were at that point, but I don't know if I remember their funeral. I mean, What?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean,
I've recorded the dates, but I don't
Yeah.
remember. But it's been 20 years or so, I guess.
but, and tell me if I'm crazy wrong, but I think I remember Grandma Gilbert's funeral. Is that possible? That I was alive?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You were born in July,
Mm-hmm.
and Daddy died in August.
Okay.
So you were a month old.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So of course you didn't remember him, but Mother lived
Uh-huh.
5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years
Right.
after Daddy died. So you probably
Okay.
could
May have a
remember her.
I just remember Mom crying, and I had not seen that, I don't guess, and then I remember, it's the memory I have, and maybe I just made it up in my mind and it's a false memory, but it's real to me, so I'm gonna say it. But I remember she was tore up, and I was like, "Why are you crying? Like, she's in heaven." And then she started crying more. I was like, "What's your deal?" But she was like, but that may not have happened. Mom, hopefully would remember that if it happened. But anyway, that's
Well, your mom spent a lot of time
Yeah.
with Mother.
Yeah. I mean that.
Of course, Scott
Here,
did
talk
too.
about that.
Yeah.
You need some screen time, Mimi.
No.
You don't want to be on the
Said I
camera.
gonna get up.
No, I'm fine. But yeah, they both spent a lot of time with Mother and Daddy,
Mhm.
and we were working and all that, and then Rebecca, of course, and Mother, they liked the same things. They
Mhm.
liked sewing and quilting and all
Mhm.
that. So even as Rebecca got older,
Mm-hmm.
she still spent a lot of time with Mother because
Right.
they liked the same things, and Rebecca would pick strawberries with Mother and step on them, and Mother would scold her. Don't step on the strawberries.
Yeah.
Grandmother Gilbert loved to quilt,
Uh-huh.
and she would hang her quilts in this room.
Uh-huh.
It had hooks in the ceiling, and she'd let the frames down and quilt. And then when she got through quilting for the day, they'd roll them back up and
Be up at the ceiling.
Really?
Of course, they didn't have a ceiling fan at that time.
Yeah.
But she would make Rebecca get up under the quilt and look up to see if she missed any stitches or anything like that.
Did she always have a garden, or is that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They
okay.
always had.
Yeah. I mean, I assume, but
Yeah, lots of garden.
because Mom will not do the garden. I wondered if she was that way too, but I can't
No,
imagine.
Mother. I mean,
Yeah.
they had gardens.
Maybe it's
We had gardens.
right. Yeah.
When your mom
Hopefully it
was
skips a
growing up.
generation and I get it.
Mom tried to have a garden.
She
We can
says
do-
she's gonna have some this year.
I bet she probably will not.
Well, she
Right.
says that with all being retired and everything, but she's about to have a grandbaby too.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And I remember one year we tried, or maybe she tried more than once. And I remember you came over and you were like, "Y'all's dirt is awesome. Y'all got really good dirt here. It's gonna be great." And Mom was just, just I don't have a green thumb and da 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 da. But she can sew. Yeah. So like y'all did shift work. We probably talked about this in the last one. I can't remember, but y'all did shift work. So a lot of the time she was just it was just Scott and Mom with her.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah. That's awesome. And so y'all lived right there.
Mm-hmm.
Was this house always here? Where was it before?
Over there where Aunt Chris's house is.
Okay, I knew it had been moved.
Right.
But it was more where the gazebo is. It was just
Yeah.
up a little. The back corner would have been pretty close to the gazebo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the decision making of let's just
Well,
Yeah,
a
what
few
led to
feet
that?
this way?
they had they were going to build a new house, Mother and Daddy was going to build a new house, and they had the plans,
Yeah.
and so they wanted to build it over there, so they were going to move. They moved this house over here.
And they always owned all
Yeah.
of it.
And this was a big old field.
Uh-huh.
Had the longest rows of any rows on the earth. They started down there and they went all the way around,
Yeah.
But that's when interest rates went up to like 16%.
Was that in the 80s?
Uh,
When it happened?
70s.
70s.
Yeah.
You can read about the OPEC oil embargo.
I didn't realize that was what caused it.
Well, that gas prices and everything just shot up immediately, and interest rates, it was all tied together. So, and they had plans for a tremendous house. I mean, it was something else.
Yeah, and
It was gonna
full basement under.
Yeah.
It was a big house.
It was going to have like living quarters in the basement, and then I don't know, 3 or 4 bedrooms, and
Could have lived next to a castle.
And so, what did your dad do for a living?
Well, he farmed,
Right.
and he had chicken houses.
Yes.
And then he worked on a public job too.
Okay. Yeah. And so that was the.
It's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did your mom work?
Mother worked. She worked when I was little,
Mm-hmm.
and in fact, we moved to Rossville and lived up there, and they both worked in a mill there. And then after we moved back home, she didn't work
I got you.
then.
How old were you when y'all had moved back and forth?
I was like 4 or 5 when
Okay.
we lived up in up there.
Okay.
And I don't remember for sure how long we lived there. I mean, 3 or 4 years, I guess. Anyway. But then after they moved back here, she helped out at the school, at the lunchroom, like filled in
Yeah.
and did that. And then once she got a job over at Dover at the mill over there, and she worked over there for a while, but mostly stayed at home.
didn't she sell that jewelry?
Oh
that
yeah,
Sarah
she
Cohen?
was an entrepreneur. She sold costume jewelry, was a big thing at that time, and you would have parties, and she was
To sell them?
yeah.
Or-
And,
okay.
and she had jewelry that she would take to show, and they'd try it on. There'd be a bunch of ladies,
Sure.
and all that. And of course, then
She'd take orders for it.
she would take orders,
Okay.
and then you would recruit.
yeah.
other
So it's like
ladies.
the what's
Like
it, Miss
paper
K? What's
Yeah, Miss.
Mary Kay.
Mary Kay?
Yeah, but it was jewelry, and
Back
I
in
still
the
have.
day.
And we all. Linda has some, and Lucretia has some, and I
Oh,
have
really?
some of her. It's really pretty costume.
Yeah.
More pins and earrings. But yeah, she was,
multi-level
and
marketing.
she was always very competitive.
Sure.
She's very successful,
I have not
and
heard
it
that.
was her money.
Okay.
It did not contribute to the day in and day out.
Yeah, it was
living.
separate.
It was her money.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
In fact, we were talking yesterday at the craft thing, and I said, "Oh, these brooches, they look like Mother's." And Rebecca said, "Oh yeah, I remember." I said, "Well, she sold jewelry." Rebecca said, "What?" And I said, "She sold jewelry.
Yeah,
this,
really
So,
wow. That's interesting. I don't know. I've that's so funny. I mean, of course, pyramid schemes have been a thing for forever, but it worked for her. I mean, if you're at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, you don't get other people don't warn other people about those kind of things, or they didn't back then like they do now. People know to watch out for them.
Well, the problem is you run out of friends.
Right.
Because you kind of got a circle of friends, and
Mhm.
you recruit two, and then they recruit two, and pretty soon,
Yeah.
it's
There's no
everybody
one
we
to
know.
sell to.
Yeah.
Wow. That's funny.
Just gotta get in early, just like anything.
But it wasn't like
There wasn't that.
pyramid.
No.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Yeah, no.
Um,
That's what
Now
they
they
all
got
say.
involved with Amway
Okay.
for a while. Remember that?
yeah.
Which is
You know, cleaning products and
Okay.
all that, and it was you
Similar
sold,
deal.
but you recruited people to sell, and
Okay.
you know.
And Sandy, Tony and Christy's mom,
Mm-hmm.
she sold Tupperware,
Mhm.
and she was very successful. And they furnished her a company car, and she was
Really?
recruiting other people. And
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess she just got tired of doing it
I
or
guess,
something. I don't know.
You can only sell so much Tupperware,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, and it wasn't at Walmart at that time. It was.
Yeah, you only could get
That
it
makes sense.
through home parties.
I didn't even consider that
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I mean, we have Amazon now, so that is
Right.
completely gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there are still people selling door to door, but it's most.
Not the same.
We have pest control people and like camera people, security people, about once every 5 months. And like, I'm a sucker, you know. And I'll hear them, and then I tell them I rent, and they're like, "Oh, that's fine. We can do that too. You can pay for it." And I'm like, "That." But and then some of them, like, I like being sold to. Like if they're good at their job, it's a pleasant process. But the guy that came doing pest control, and like we need pest control right now, and have. But he was just like he was looking at his phone. He was like, it was poor execution. But anyway, moving on.
That's Mimi's uncle Albert. They called him H.E. Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Paris in World War II,
Okay.
and he was a ambulance driver, I think.
Wow.
That's her mother's brother, and her dad's brother Hansel ran into each other.
Just
I don't know if
Daddy's
it's Paris
brother
or-
and mother's brother.
yeah,
They were in Paris,
sure.
and they, ran into each other, and
Just kind of a accidental
Yeah.
meeting.
Hey, what are you doing here?
yeah,
Wow, that must be.
and
That would probably make his. I mean,
I don't know how well they knew each other.
No, but it's
But
somebody
it's
from home.
from- Yeah,
right.
you know.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
relatives.
Some may even say Gilbert's in Paris.
That's
I'm trying to think if there's any Gilberts I know of our Gilberts now that have been to Paris.
Gilbert's was
I
in
guess
Paris.
Donita.
Well, Donita and Madeline.
Yeah, they've been to Paris.
We're flying into Paris.
Yeah. Well, you'll be another one.
Spiritually, Gilbert's in Paris.
So I assume they got drafted. Or well,
Yeah.
maybe that's not safe. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
In
if they-
World War II, they had
Mostly.
plenty of volunteers. They did draft, but
it wasn't like Vietnam.
no, there's 16-year-old kids trying to volunteer, and of course they couldn't until they were 18 unless the parents signed.
Ugh. That seems.
There's you can look it up online. There was a 12-year-old lied about his age and evidently mature for his age. And he joined the Navy, and he was actually a hero.
Yeah.
And then they found out how young he was, sent him home.
He must have been a stud for a 12-year-old to come through. Like, I mean,
Well, and they didn't look real close. at
Sure,
that
yeah,
time,
they're
you know,
like-
but
he says he's 18.
Right. Mhm.
Wow. That's crazy. Do you know what your other uncle did? He drove the ambulance, and then do you know
What did Uncle?
in
Hansel
the army?
do?
Yeah. Or I assume his army.
Yeah,
I don't know what he did.
and Uncle Devoid was also. Wasn't he in service?
I think so.
Yeah, another brother of Daddy's,
Right.
younger. Both of them were younger than Daddy,
Yeah.
but they were still close in age.
Mhm.
You know, but they were.
So how old would your dad have been? I mean, would he have was
At that time,
well? Yeah, was he too
during
young?
the war,
Yeah.
He's was married and had. I don't know, was Lucretia born or?
I guess probably.
Let's see.
She's 11 years older than me, and I was born in 51. So
Yeah.
she was born in the 40s,
Yeah, so
and he farmed, and I don't know if that was,
Part of it.
you know, I mean, they had a child, but then he farmed too.
yeah, and farmers for the most part were exempt from the draft.
Sure. Well, and then if he was to go, then you know, that's wild. Yeah, I didn't. That's interesting. Skinny, or maybe it's.
That's one of my grandmother's half sisters, Bessie's
Uh-huh.
half sister, Tony, and she married a Bevel, and that's Billy Hansard. If you've ever heard of Doc Hansard at Ider, he was the old country doctor there for years.
Lived in the Rock House,
Oh.
wasn't it?
Yeah, where you turn down to the old Macedonia Church.
Yeah.
Off 117.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's right there in the corner. That's where Dr. Hansard lived.
And he probably did house calls and.
Yeah, well, he delivered me and Tricia and Gary, I guess.
So most of y'all were born in Ider.
At home.
I think Mike and Barry were born at Rosalie, and I guess Tricia was born at Ider.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was.
That
And you and Gary, and then Max,
Max was born at Fort Payne,
Fort Payne.
and Mary and David were born at Pete Clinic,
Flat Rock.
Flat Rock.
I've never heard of that. Wow. That looks like Mike on the right.
That's Uncle Hugh, and that's my dad, Dub.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought that was Dub, but I knew it wasn't Mike and Dub because Mike didn't look like that when Dub was alive. Dub's the one with his fingers or his legs crossed.
Gary
It
was
does look like Mike.
asking me when we were over there yesterday, said, Greg ever tell you that about when we had that cotton patch? And I said, well, seems like I remember something about it, because I was wanting him to tell it, you know. But anyway, he said, yeah, Mary was a baby, and I don't remember if he said how many acres y'all had, a cotton field, and it was time to pick cotton,
Mm-hmm.
and so Grandma was picking, and the kids,
Mm-hmm.
but Greg and Gary was taking turns. One day, one of them kept Mary at the house,
Yeah.
and then the next day the other one would. And Gary said, and it was my day to keep Mary. And he said, now I don't know why a 9-year-old would be in charge of a baby.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's the way big families were, you know.
Sure.
But he said it was my day to keep Mary, and Greg was picking cotton, and the scale hit Greg. Have I got it right?
Yeah.
And cut his head. And said, so Mama sent him to the house because he was bleeding and told me to come to the field.
And it was his day.
And he said, I said, you did that on purpose.
That's so funny.
They had the scales were hung up on the wagon, had a
Timber
board or
cord
something
or
out
something.
there.
Yeah, angled up.
And I went to weigh my cotton, and I guess it was wired or something, and it broke, and I've got the scar right
You
there.
still got a scar?
probably
Yeah.
And I'm just imagining that, you know, Greg hitting the head and he's bleeding, you know, because
Now you gotta be
head
in charge
wounds
of it.
bleed a lot. And
Oh,
Grandma saying, yeah, well, go to the house, tell Gary to go.
It must have been
'Cause
pretty
nothing-
bad.
Putting the
Yeah.
Well,
the
nothing
head
to
wound
me ever
child
phased her.
Right.
It was just always like,
Well, and as many kids as run around, somebody's bound to be bleeding at any given time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your head scar story is way cooler than mine. Do you know how I got mine? It's so embarrassing. I lied. Most people, like, if I don't know them, I lie and say, oh yeah, somebody swung with a 2x4 and it hit me in the head. And I wish so bad that it was that.
I remember when you did it.
I was like, I think I had just watched like a Jackie Chan movie, and this is not like me, a 14-year-old.
This
Like,
is
I'm
like-
20. I'm like
yeah, this
20,
is 19
21.
or
Like
20
I'm
year
like
old.
out of high school. But like I was like, I bet I could do that. But I'm on my bed, like trying, you know, laying there, and you like flip, you like jump up. I was like, I'm an athlete. No, I was doing it, and I was so close, and I just need a little more. And my head, like if that's the headboard and this is my head, I start here away from it, and like there's a little lip, you know, above it, and it's just like a razor edge, you know, headboard. And anyway, I went, woo, and I mean, I'm talking about, I nailed my head, and it bled, and I thought, oh God, and I didn't care because, well, one, I was like, this is embarrassing, and two, I had a wedding to go to like that weekend, and it was like on a Tuesday, and I was like, no. So Eli battles his first wedding.
and you were in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which, thank God, that was just his first wedding, and I'll leave that at that. But yeah, so I go over to Stephanie's house, and she glued it back together. And she was like, "You ain't gonna get stitches. You know the way it is. The glue will be fine. Just try not to do your eyebrows crazy." Which, if you know me, you know it was splitting open all the time, and I was like, "Man, this is horrible." And so like, somebody put some makeup on it or whatever, and I think it was fine. And then I don't think surely people knew or noticed it. But then Caitlin Gregory was like, "Are you wearing makeup?" And I was like, "No." So anyway, but yeah, that's bad.
That's Hub and Allie Odell.
This is number 2.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I've never heard of Hub.
There's probably reasons for that.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen this one before.
Okay, that's Hub and Bessie,
His
my
wife.
grandmother.
His daughter
Oh, darn it.
Yeah. Okay. I was about
Greg's
to
I
say.
can't see
grandmother.
the picture.
Right.
and her daddy.
They both look like something's happening behind the camera. Their eyebrows. I wish. That's gonna be the thumbnail for the the video.
Well, in those days, you looked solemn for pictures. Nobody said smile. You look. This is a serious matter.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it was probably I mean, it's not like now.
Don't get a lot of tries.
Yeah,
You do now.
you won't find very many old pictures where people.
But look at her
smile.
eyebrows. She's. That's so
Well,
funny.
knowing her, she didn't know what that thing was. They were pointing at her, and
Sure. I like how everybody's lined up in a perfect row and just standing with their arms straight beside each other. So where is that?
that's at Ider, and I think we were talking about where the Doc Hanchard house was.
Mhm.
I think that's kind of across the road from there. But that's the Scott family.
Mhm.
That's Bessie's grandparents. That's
Mhm.
her mother and daddy,
Mhm.
Hub and Marietta, and that's J.W.T. Scott, John William Thomas.
Would y'all just call him John?
Well,
That was
he died long before I was born. Yeah, he went by John, I think.
that looks like Theodore Roosevelt.
sawmill and had a blacksmith shop and
Mhm.
a grist mill and
He got to.
Did they live up the road?
that house was across
Oh yeah,
the
you
road from the Doc Hansard place,
Okay.
I think. That's Hugh and Dub.
That looked like trouble.
We probably never know.
The hair was just perfect that day.
Did you tell them about when your daddy was walking to school, but Uncle Tom asked him if he wanted to go hunting?
No, that was Roe Scott.
Roe, tell them that story. That's a good story.
You care if I turn that fan on?
No, I don't care. You hot?
No,
Oh.
it's with the slide switch.
Go ahead.
Daddy said he was in the first grade and he walked to school
Uh-huh.
and he was on his way to school and he passed the Scott house. And Roe Scott was, he's 2 or 3 years older than Daddy. And he said he had a single barrel shotgun, you know, breakdown, and said he was blowing on it like a bugle.
Mm-hmm.
And he hollered, "What are you doing, Roe?" And he said, "I'm going rabbit hunting, calling the dogs." He said, "You want to go?" He said, "Yeah, I'll go with you." So they struck out rabbit hunting instead of going to school. Now this is a first grader and probably a third grader. And so they went rabbit hunting, and he said Roe killed a rabbit or two and said, "Let me carry the rabbit." And said he was wearing overalls. He said it had blood all over the leg. And finally, 10, 11 o'clock, they wandered into school and said the teacher wrote a note and stuck it down in the bib pocket of his overalls. Said, "Now you give your mama that note as soon as you get home." And he said it lasted about till I got to the edge of the schoolyard.
That's funny.
So, grandmother never knew about that.
Other than the blood.
Yeah, other than, and you know she knew about the blood on his
Yeah.
overalls.
Blood was probably pretty common in those days.
Just everyone's bleeding.
I thought
That's
that needs to be in a movie. You know?
John Saffels, Grandmother Mo's daddy.
He was young there.
And he was from Tellico Plains, Tennessee.
Okay, where's that close to?
Going up toward the Smoky Mountains.
Okay. I've never heard of Telco.
And he died.
He died before I was born. He had stomach cancer. That's me about third grade, I guess. No,
You-
I may look.
I was about to say, you look older than that.
Yeah, it may have been 5 or 6. I can't remember.
Doesn't have the year at the bottom. Used to, our school pictures would have the year at
It
the
says
bottom.
1960 here, but it's not on the picture. So,
1960, I'd been 11.
so who was the president in 1960?
Eisenhower, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
No. That's Kennedy was elected about 60s, 64 or somewhere along there.
I will Google it.
So do y'all remember doing like, this is Cold War, right?
What?
The Cold War was during this time, and then do y'all did like, in case the sirens go off and the bombs
Bomb
fall,
drill, yeah.
bomb drill.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, if there's going to be a nuclear war, so we get down under our desk and put a book over the head.
And that'll help.
Yeah.
So was that? I mean, was that? How long did that kind of go for? Where you were feeling like, hey, we might get bombed by the Russians? I mean, Red Dawn came out in the '80s, right? So.
Well, it was. I think the worst scare was probably from in the '60s, early to middle '60s.
Like in the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, that was about '64, I think. But by the time I was in high school, we didn't think much about it. They still told us, that's the
Sure.
threat and all that. But
Communism.
yeah, we kind of heard it for the last 10 years and nothing happened.
Right. And we're still hearing it today.
Eisenhower was president in 1960, and John F. Kennedy was elected in 1960. So he followed Eisenhower.
Really? I didn't realize that was
that close to.
Yeah, in my mind, Eisenhower's way
back
before. But I mean, that makes sense because Kennedy was in the Pacific, right?
Yeah.
So he got stranded on an island and the whole deal.
He was a PT boat commander and the boat was sunk. So he and his men swam to an island, and I think one of the men was injured, and Kennedy swam with pulling with a strap between his teeth, pulling his injured crewmate.
Yeah, and you don't think of Kennedy as like a guy that fought. Or, you think of him as like a young, charismatic, kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to compare him to Obama, but, just somebody that's like a politician or whatever. I mean, the name Kennedy. And he was like doing crazy. What's the story about the coconut he had on his desk? This is not Phillips family related, but there's...
I don't know the story.
Something like he had a coconut and he carved like SOS or some kind of coordinates or something, and somehow or another it made it to where it needed to go or something, but he always kept that coconut on his desk in the Oval Office because maybe that's an urban legend, but anyway. Dub.
Yeah.
Was that at a funeral or a wedding? Or was he just wearing a tie?
He used to, when he went to church, he wore a suit and tie to church.
Sure.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, most men back then did.
He looked, you definitely resemble him, but like when I look at that, I see Barry immediately. But then, you kind of think about it and like they all pretty much look the same.
Liz, you want that thrown in that basket?
I may have told you this story, but we were, I guess, in Chattanooga walking down the street, and I could see the reflection in like a store window, and out of the corner of my eye I saw this reflection. I said, "There's Mike." And I turned around, of course there's nobody there. And when I looked back, I realized I was seeing my own reflection.
That's funny.
Well, Mary said she did similar things. She was going into the bank and saw this reflection. Said, "What's Greg doing here?" And she looked back, and it was her own reflection.
Oh, that's worse. That's how you know. Oh, that's funny. Scott, who's the other one?
That's Brian.
Oh, is it? Sure it is. Look at that. You can tell it now. Is that in Eider?
Yeah, that was prom night.
Yeah, I didn't know y'all there was a heater in there.
That was at Grandma Mo's.
Yeah, no, the pictures are the exact same.
Yeah.
They were in the prom?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was.
Oh.
And they had, I guess, stopped by up there for some reason.
Take pictures.
I guess.
Yeah, I guarantee you if you took one of those pictures off the wood paneling, it would be like a totally different color.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Sandy.
Yeah, that's funny. Like when when I looked at that picture, I was like, I haven't been in that house in 10 years, but I was like, I could
Yeah.
smell it, you know.
Yeah.
We used to go there like,
Every Sunday.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it was. And you think about like how much effort it is to cook for like 6 people, and then I mean, any given Sunday would be, I don't know,
About 20 at least.
yeah, 15 or
Maybe,
20 people,
yeah.
depending on, you know, and then if it was Easter or something, everybody came. Where did everybody do Christmas before we had our house?
Well,
It was
there
Yeah,
until I guess until Grandma started living with Tricia.
I think it was
No,
before that.
it was before that. Yeah.
as long I don't remember doing a Christmas. I remember one time we went and had a rook tournament at Henniger in the, is it the Ruatan building?
Probably
Yeah, it would have
called
been.
community center now.
Yeah, but as far as Christmas, I don't remember it being anywhere else. Jacob's just now getting to Scottsboro. Pierce, Phillips, and D.
Yeah, that's my granddad, and then Pierce is his brother. I think that's one of their cousins, Shaw. So their mother maiden name was Shaw.
What do you reckon that picture was for? A wedding, or they got? Did they do prom back then? I don't imagine they did, but there's Ryan. We've got that picture somewhere.
Yeah, that was,
So did his? I know. I guess his mom does rodeo now.
Well, they did
No.
Or
horses.
was that? Did I make that up?
his sister, Michaela.
Okay, got it.
And his mom and stepdad trade horses, raise horses.
Okay. That's terrible. It's not showing at all. Yeah, we've got a big one of those.
Yeah, I've seen this picture.
Whenever I go interview Scott and Bonnie, I'm gonna fill in all my Ryan knowledge because I don't remember a ton.
I know that we spent a lot of time with him when
Yeah.
we were really little, and
Yeah.
y'all would watch all of us.
Mhm.
But
I
there was a
remember
big
hanging out
gap
with him.
of,
Yeah,
like I
Yeah.
only vaguely remember like him being at the house and like being around him here, but that's about it.
He cleaned house for
yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say I remember seeing him once a week.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember.
And then like a few Christmases after that,
Yeah.
but
And then this is one that we.
One.
It's maybe a little better picture.
what
So-
year was Ryan born?
90, I think.
I guess.
I
And
guess
you were
that's about
born
right.
in '99, right, Paul?
Yeah.
I think that's probably. I was looking for that picture that Mary posted of me and him. I was gonna show them because I knew they didn't.
So I guess this is your book.
Yeah.
It says who's who and why. About Dub, what more need be said than that he has made all district for the last 3 years. Beauty speaks for itself.
Back when high schoolers looked like they were
In their 30s.
Maybe
So this
it
is
wasn't in the Phillips
That's
family. Maybe
Mamie's
it was just Mary's.
Grandparents, Calvin and Carrie Gilbert.
I'm trying to think of who she looks like.
She was a Haynes, if you know any Haynes.
Yeah, oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Huh. We got baby pictures. This is 2002, 221.
She was like the Robbie one.
Is that Wob?
Think so.
Is there another baby born in 2002?
Were you born in 2002?
Yes.
But you were born on
In
25.
In
January 25th.
I guess 2 is, yeah, February, isn't it? Yeah, that's probably Rob, safe to say. Little baby Wob with a big old watermelon head.
Good luck.
There's more Rob pictures.
Looks like
It's just duplicates, I guess.
looks like I did have hair. We were talking about that the other day.
As it turns out.
Liz wants a baby with hair.
Then there's Pow. That's in the Chattanooga house. Again, I can smell it. Not that it stunk or anything.
It just had a very distinct smell.
Why did Mary post that picture of me and Ron? I can't find it.
On your birthday, I think.
Well, I know. Did she put it on her?
On the family page.
Well, that's what I was looking at. It's not there.
That's my great grandmother, Odell.
Mm-hmm.
Marietta Scott Odell.
It's the couch that was in Auburn.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
The fold out one?
Mm-hmm.
I was about to ask whatever come of that.
It stayed in the trailer.
Thank God, because I remember moving it in.
It nearly took Dad's head off.
That
It
was-
unfolded while we were getting it through the door.
We had to,
And
you know,
Dad was between it and the door frame.
it's a wonder. I guess the picture got kind of.
Yeah, that's a picture of a picture, but
Got the cow back there.
it's
Looks like
the
they're a
Scott
broken
family.
frame.
And that's John Scott and Paralee was her name.
The guy in the back is in his b-boy stance. Yeah.
I think that's